I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the At Random podcast. I am your host of this evening, Andy, and I am joined as usual by Alex. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. Yourself?
I'm doing fine. But somebody missing here today. We got a little lack of female perspective on this episode, and that's
kind of.
Well, sort
that's
of.
not fully true.
That's not fully true, but I'll figure out why in a second. Yeah, Alejandra is not here today because, again, she's been feeling not too good, I guess.
Nope, she's having a bad time.
Yeah, she's not having it too bad. I saw her before the show, and she's like a little fucked up, but that's fine. We know her situation. Because of the many conversations we had about her health situation. So, like, it's fine. But we did find a little lovely replacement for you guys today. I hope y'all know her. You should by this moment because she's been getting some fame recently. It's the lovely Derina Harvey.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm great. How you doing?
I'm
Lovely.
fine. I'm lovely. All right, Derina. All right. Just first question. I'm gonna jump right in here. Like,
Sure.
can you tell the people, like our listeners, who exactly you are?
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I will try and condense this as best I can. But
Okay.
I'm originally from a small town in Labrador. So
Labrador.
So I'm originally from Wabush, Labrador, and I was born into a musical family. I was on stage since I was about 5. So naturally played in bands and choirs and things like that as I grew up, and went to College of the North Atlantic and took a program called Music Industry and Performance. And that is where I met so many of my great friends, including my husband, Mr. Stephen Pinsent, who is actually the Canadian booking manager for our band, and also my baby daddy. He's my my husband. We have 3 kids, but so that's where I am. I currently live in Edmonton, Alberta, and until recently, I was touring quite extensively. Through the United States and through Canada. And yeah, so that's the basics of who I am. I guess I'm a mom, I'm a singer, and a lover of bourbon. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I already love that about you. Yeah, that's a good combination. You can't have kids without alcohol. That's one thing I know.
I mean, you can, but who would want to?
I'll stop you. I don't even have kids. You just can't have a life without alcohol. Sometimes you just need a drink, you know.
But one of the most foremost thing is that you are the lead singer of the Derina Harvey band. Now, a lot of our listeners might not know who exactly Derina Harvey is, but as you know, on our show, we've talked a little bit about TikTok and such, and I actually found you through TikTok.
Yeah.
Are you aware that you are somewhat famous on TikTok?
Well,
and there, by the way, there's a special niche, especially for your type of music.
Yeah, and I had no idea.
You didn't?
I had no idea. Well, when I became aware of this was at some point in the summer. I woke up to several messages on my phone.
Yeah.
Derina, you're on this. You're Derina. Oh my God, your song is everywhere. Derina, I hear your voice all the time now. And it's like, so friends told us about it. We had no idea.
Okay. Yeah.
And so that was early in the summer. I think at the point where I became aware of it, there might have been maybe 1,000 or 1,500 videos. And now there's well more than that. But yeah, it was a shock to us and the band.
Have you checked it lately how many there are?
No, I haven't,
Because
actually.
I absolutely have no idea, but there has to be some. Because 2021 has been pronounced the year of the sea shanties, which like is directly up your alley. I mean,
Yes. I don't know how it started, but I'm happy to be a part of it.
yeah, I think it started with a game that me, Alex, and Alejandra actually played a lot, which is
I still play it a lot.
You still do?
Yeah, the new season started this week, man.
You fucking
It's called
nerd.
Sea of Thieves. It's
Sea
like a
of
pirate
Thieves,
adventure
yeah.
game where
It's
you're just
called
like
what?
make Sea of Thieves.
Ah, cool.
Because
I
it's
have
a
to check it
pirate
out.
game. Yeah, where it's like you can just do whatever you want. You can be a total dick and like be a pirate to other players and steal their loot, or you can like help them and team up on missions.
Yeah.
Cool. So it's
So
like
my
a
wife
deck
and I,
building.
she got into it.
It's like a deck building game. Like,
It's like an adventure game.
No,
really.
really.
an
It's
open-
like
I think
you have your own ship and you have to go on missions to find actual treasure and all that
treasure.
stuff.
ooh,
Yeah.
I'll have to look
Yeah,
it up.
so-
We love games over here. We have quite a collection.
Yeah. So you're the Derina Harvey band is the name of the band that you sing for. And what a lovely fucking sound that is. I actually found your song through one line, actually, that so appealed to me, which was 2 cans of beer a day, and that should bleed a lot. Da-da-da-da. I think that's one of your most famous things on TikTok right now.
Yes. Yeah. So it's interesting to put it all in perspective. The 2 cans of beer a day. This is a song. The last shanty was written by Tom Lewis after his time in the Navy, and so the 2 cans of beer a day is just such a fun thing for us folks who have no idea what it's like to spend time on a Navy vessel and have your rations and look forward to something like that with such eagerness, right? And yeah, so it resonates. It resonates on a bunch of different levels with people. But it's interesting to see how, for in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I've been on stage since I was 5. I've been trying to do some songwriting. I've been playing in different bands. If you want, I can get into the backstory of how the band came together. But the idea of everything that we have done now is under a different kind of light or microscope because of this one song just being excited. It's being excitable.
I was gonna pick up on that a little later in the show, but
whatever you like, Lovey.
Wait, is that a little Irish? I hear. Do you have like Irish roots? Because you're from Canada, but like, is there any Irish in you?
My mother was a Murphy, so yes.
She
actually, was. She married my father and became a Harvey. So, she morphed and she's a reptile now. I'm joking. She's
No. I believe that. I truly believe in aliens. So don't even get me started on the conspiracy shit.
No,
I think
please.
if I was going to do zoomorphism at all, I would equate my mother with a regal, beautiful, all-knowing owl at this point, and she's an artist as well. So she has this kind of quietness about her, and the more quiet she becomes, the more scared we should all be.
Oh yeah,
but,
I get that.
But I don't know. I think whatever questions you would like to ask in whatever order you would like to ask them in, sir, I am happy to oblige. But yes, Irish. My heritage is Irish. Yeah.
Okay, well that's awesome because I do hear it in your voice a little bit. There's a slight hint of Irish there, which I love, by the way.
Thank you. Well, it gets worse as I drink as well, or if I've talked to my family back on the East Coast, because Newfoundland was primarily settled by Irish, English, British, French. So, thusly, it has a similarity to certain parts of Europe where every 10 miles the dialect changes. So if I were to visit my family on the East Coast of Canada, within days, I'd be like, sure, get your guitars in the case. Oh, yes, look at the boat out in the harbor. Like, it would turn
fuck
not
was
quite
that?
I heard "Look at the harbor."
Yeah.
I heard that.
Did it break up, or did I just lose you completely?
No. We
just,
just didn't understand the word you said.
Right. Okay. So living in central and western Canada, as I have for so long, I'm not saying that I've purposely toned down my accent, but it just kind of happened as I was working different jobs, and people would say, you know, a phone call would come in and I'd say, Derek, pick up line 3. And they would be like, what is a tree line? I don't understand. No, line 3. So my as I said, my mom is a Murphy. She is 4th generation Irish. So that would make me, I guess, 5th. And my father is 5th. So there's 6 as well. So, so they would have been over in the mid 18s.
Jesus. Okay.
Yeah. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So lots of Irish.
Can you tell us a little bit about how like the Derina Harvey band came to be as it is now? But like one of the questions that I wanted to ask you, that which I should lead with before asking this question actually, is
sure.
What would you classify the Derina Harvey band as? Because I know it's classified as Celtic rock. Like, do you think there should be a new section named Sea Shanty Rock or something like that?
TikTok Shanty Rock? Yeah.
Perfect.
That sounds
marketable.
Good. Yeah.
Marketable, yes. I will have 6 cents every time somebody says it. It'll be lovely. No, I think it is a very natural thing for new genres to be created. And how beautiful would it be for something as ancient as a shanty to occupy the hearts and minds of people in 2021? Name it whatever you want. I think it's lovely. Yeah.
I completely agree with that. But like, how did it start somewhere else? Did it like came from rock? Like what's the history of the band? Like what happened to bring it to what it is today?
Okay. Well, so that college that I went to where I met my husband, I should preface, he wasn't my husband then. No. But,
and damn him for stealing you away from us.
Yes. Well, he likes to say that he won the lottery and I lost a bet, but I don't know about that. I think I would
think that's pretty much 99% of all women on Earth.
You shouldn't have told me that one, because I'm going to flip it the other way and say it to my wife later, probably.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Now I'm going to get in trouble.
Take video and call the ambulance before you say that. So, no, but in all seriousness, the band came together in a pretty natural way, I suppose. When I was at the College of the North Atlantic doing the music program, another program was running at the same time. It was the recording arts program. Mm-hmm. And our guitar player was taking the course at that time. So we all became good friends. We all worked on projects together. And there was a good core group of friends that came out of that program. And one by one, we started moving to Western Canada after we graduated. Mm-hmm. And at the time, I was still living in Labrador. Steve was living in Calgary. If you're not familiar with how far apart those things are, it's about the difference between the crust of the earth and the magma. Like it's like the core. Like it's a long ways away.
That's a lot.
So it's a lot. It's a hike. So we when I moved to Edmonton, there were so many other projects happening. There were progressive rock blues bands happening. There were Croatian wedding bands happening, bunch of session musicians, right? So we were doing whatever. I was working lighting, was doing a whole bunch of things. And Stephen and I found out that we were going to have our first wee human. So the day that my maternity leave ran out, he booked me an audition at a venue here in town that was called the Atlantic Trap and Gill. So it was all about all your displaced East Coasters living in the prairies. They would have this place to come to and feel like they were at home.
Yeah.
So
and this was like a bar setup or something?
Yeah,
or
bar,
like,
restaurant. Nets all over the ceiling.
Oh yeah.
Walk in and it's like
I know the place.
Says,
I know the place. Yeah. I've been there and I've been there and stripped naked on the bar. Like
I'm missing that place. I'm missing that place right now.
So you're the guy.
I'm the guy. Yeah.
Nice to put a face with.
Whenever they put the song, you can leave your hat on. You know, That's me with just a hat on.
Oh.
Yeah.
Placement is everything.
Oh yeah.
So the idea, I guess, of the band came about when the owner of the venue, she had a band for the weekend that had to cancel. And so with about a week's notice, she said, Derina, you're a good singer, and you can entertain the crowd pretty good, but I need a band for the weekend. So if you could put a band together, you could play the weekend. And so I was like,
in 1 week's time?
Yeah. So
Wow.
So here's the cool part. So my husband is into blues. He's like a big Stevie Ray Vaughan fan. He's a drummer by trade, but my husband also plays guitar and bass and a whole bunch of other things. So the idea that his love for metal, or he's probably one of his current favorite bands is Dream Theater.
Great band.
Great band.
So he's got a wide appreciation for music. My guitar players love blues, country, metal, everything. So we have a wide variety of likes. And so when I said, hey, we all grew up on the East Coast, you have those kind of melodies tucked into your soul. They're there. So just follow me and just play. So we've all, like, the guys had been playing together so long that they had a spider sense, so they could kind of jam through something without really knowing it perfectly at the time. So we just jammed. We jammed 60 songs into a weekend. And
Jesus Christ.
And so, it was great, though, because every time I'd be like, okay, you should put a solo here, I would like literally lean over and kick my guitar player and be like, now.
so real musicians.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's awesome though, to hear that from someone in need comes like a great band like the Derina Harvey band. That's awesome. So I'd imagine you've played a lot of gigs in all that time. How long have you been playing?
Well, that particular incarnation of the band started
since that night, like.
Yeah, so that would have been in that would have been, I think, the earliest recorded show was maybe 2000, and whichever year was the leap years, either 2007, 2008, because it was on the 29th of February.
Okay,
was our first show.
Oh, that's nice that you still remember that.
Yeah, and it's
how could you forget that? You just like in a week.
I kind of did.
Yeah,
forget
I can't
that.
even remember how much I ate this afternoon. If not,
no, my bass player remembers things like that, so he took care of it. But so the crazy thing about that particular show that kept moving forward, we had a different guitar player and bass player at the time who had gone through the same music programs and sound programs. They ended up moving back to Newfoundland at different points, and so the current roster that you see now, we started playing together in 2010, and people kept saying, Derina, you have to put out a CD. So I was like, oh, okay, well, this is just the fun project. This is the fun project we do on the weekends.
So you didn't think it was going anywhere? You just, for you,
well,
this
no,
was
we were
just like
having fun, trying to make a few dollars while we were doing other projects. But then this one started to get legs. So we released our first CD completely independent in 2013, and slow moving, but we released our second CD in 2016 and added a fiddle player to the mix. Okay. And so now...
Oh, yeah, I remember that fiddle player from the TikTok song, actually, I think it was.
Oh?
She's in there, or he is in there. Well, is it the other female that plays the fiddle?
Yes. So our band currently consists of Scott Green on guitar, Ed Smith on bass, Jessica Blenis on fiddle, Steve Pinsent on drums, and me, Loudmouth, on the acoustic in front.
Yeah, and all great artists, by the way. I mean,
well, thank you.
God. I told you, I think in our personal conversations before we invited you on the show that, I play your songs a lot on while I'm at work. And this is absolutely true. This is not me bullshitting you to get you on the show and all that shit. No, this is absolutely...
Are you sure?
But the thing is, like, when I'm at work, the beat, I suggest every one of our listeners that works in a factory or works in a deadbeat fucking job that they really don't want to do, like me, put on Derina Harvey, put on your fucking earplugs and play that shit nonstop. I promise you, you will be more productive. And by the way,
it's so upbeat and happy, and like it just gives you like the energy to just like
it's the most fun fucking thing to listen to. My daughter of 1 year and a little bit, my wife wanted me to put this in the show, by the way. My daughter of 1 year and a bit, I can play any song, she won't budge. I play your song, The Last Shanty, and she will fucking dance. And I mean, like, twirling circles and all that shit. She even suggested that I would film it and send it to you, which I will. I will. I promise you. In the future, I will film my daughter dancing to your song.
Please do. Please do. You know, there's nothing... Children of that age, their reaction is so uninhibited.
Pure. It's pure.
It is pure, and so that's a huge compliment when a kid dances. That's wicked.
It is. All right. So what is one of the wildest things you've ever, like? I'd imagine you've seen a lot of concert in your time between 2000 something and now. Before Corona hit, of course, that you've seen a lot of concert. What is one of the wildest things? And I'm always curious about that because I've known a couple of metals bands, like the Australian metal band Dead City Ruins are good friends of mine's.
Nice.
They've seen some fucked up shit in there. So could you, is there like any experience that pops out for you that you say like, oh, well, that's memorable?
Well, you know, there's definitely things that were memorable for strange reasons. One, when I was playing a small pub once, a woman walked up from the dance floor and picked up my sound monitor that was in front of me, my speaker,
which is what you do,
over her head, shook it at me,
as you do,
and then put it back down. I was kind of like, okay, shouldn't you be on a ladder somewhere throwing barrels at somebody? Like, this is okay. But, you know, so that's something that's kind of comical. Nobody got hurt, whatever.
That's stuck with you for a long time.
Thankfully,
that was a moment. But I'll tell you, you know, I have seen some pretty crazy stuff. We played in the Northwest Territories on a runway once. And so a gigantic, I couldn't even tell you what kind of plane it was. It was huge. It landed while we were playing. And it was like, so we're here.
Oh boy.
And behind us, the runway, so we're right in front of a hangar and the runway is behind us and this huge plane lands. And we're like, that was so amazing. Probably illegal, but so amazing.
You really do stuff differently in Canada, don't you?
Like that, to me, that was exciting. But
Canada is basically the America that the rest of the world wants. I mean,
and then we all had donuts and pizza. No, I'm joking. But you know, the maple syrup. But the probably something that I found to be something that sticks with me, like in my heart, to be just to take it here for a second. Mm-hmm. We were playing in a venue that we used to frequent in a community called Fort McMurray. So that's about a 5-hour drive from where I live right now, depending on who's driving.
Used to frequent. You're Irish.
Yes, I used to frequent.
Yeah, there you go.
Not to frequent. No, that's a different thing, isn't it? Altogether. My lilt is off. Hang on. More coffee. I'll fix it.
No more alcohol is what.
Yes. It's like, oh, this coffee.
It's like lunchtime.
I know. I said, I'm pouring bourbon into my coffee. And my daughter goes, what are you doing? And I was like, making decaf. Like, but I'll tell you, we were playing at this beautiful pub, and it was St. Patrick's Day weekend. So that place is chinched, and we lose electricity.
Okay.
every other pub in the community shuts down.
Jesus.
So what myself and my fiddle player do while we're trying to wait it out, maybe see if things are going to fix itself or, figure out a plan. So while my husband and my guitar player and my bass player are off trying to figure out, what's going on, myself and my fiddle player go table to table singing songs with my acoustic guitar and the fiddle. And we just keep going and doing rounds like just to keep people singing and to keep people happy.
Awesome.
And so while this was happening, two patrons go to their homes, they get some generators, they come back, one generator for the POS system so the beer can keep going and keep the CO2 going for the beer.
Yeah.
And then another side so we could use half of our sound system. We couldn't use both sides, but we used one stack of our tops and bottoms.
The heroes of the night.
Yeah, holy shit, that's actually awesome. So I like other than the crazy lady on the stage that holded your like boombox
monitor.
What was it? Yeah,
actually,
your monitor.
It's just a large speaker that's in front of me, so I can hear myself over the drum kit.
Did that throw you off a lot after that? Like, was it broken after she broke the monitor?
No. We've had things been damaged by like people falling into the stage area, but I got really good at catching people and just throwing them back into the dance floor.
A skill you never thought you would have.
One of the greatest moments. One of the greatest moments in musical history is, I don't know who it was, but it's this guy. You can find it on YouTube. It's this guy that he's singing his fucking heart out, and somebody throws like a fucking plastic cup of beer at him. And he just catches it midair. I know it was meant for his fucking face, but this fucking miracle of a champ just catches it midair, drinks it completely, and chucks it back in. That is like,
beautiful.
Yeah. There's some things you learn on stage that you cannot learn on stage, off stage.
Yes. You know what? I have to say that, let's see, this was probably about 3 years ago, maybe 3, maybe 4 years ago. We were playing in a beautiful spot called Marystown, Newfoundland. And it was the Come Home year. I don't know if you have that.
We don't.
So Come Home year, so many people from Newfoundland have to leave for work and things like that. So Come Home year is when everybody goes back. There's a week-long festival, lots of things to do. So we were hired to perform for one of the events. And so we're in an arena. The floor is covered so everyone can dance and there's bars set up and everything inside.
Yep.
And there's a lot of people in there. I won't hesitate to guess how many. Nobody's in the stands. Everybody's on the surface
Rough
of the
estimate.
ice. Yeah.
Can you give us
1,000?
Okay. Yeah.
About that.
Okay. Jesus.
And so, so we start the first song.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty pumping tune, and I see this thing coming towards me. And it's just it's like a necklace, one of those glow in the dark necklaces. It broke and somebody just whipped it, right? And so I'm playing and I'm looking at this thing, and I was a back catcher, but I was never very good at all, right? They only put me back catcher because I couldn't take the arc off of a ball when I threw it. So it's best if I'm throwing from my knees, it'd be perfect to go to the pitcher. But this thing comes flying at me, and I just put my arm up and catch it.
Jesus, there you go.
So it was just, and the crowd who saw it were like, oh,
yeah, they were like, oh my God.
It's nowhere near as cool as a can of beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you keep the necklace though?
I kept it for a while. It ended up in my guitar case for a while. But I'm also accepting bourbon. If anybody wants to throw that, I'll take it.
Well, you know what? If I ever get to see you live, if you're ever big enough to come to Belgium or like close by or whatever, I'll chuck a bottle of bourbon at you.
What's your favorite? What's your pick? What's your bourbon?
It's hard to say. I the saddest part about me is I'm probably not very picky. I'll probably drink anything.
I got some.
What have you
Talisker.
got there?
I got some Talisker single malt. Scotch
Sweet.
whiskey. Yeah.
Nice. I'm okay with just like a Maker's Mark or Elijah Craig or just anything or even Jack Daniels. I've put more. Oh my God, I'm putting the Jack Daniels people through college. Like I'm seriously, it's yeah.
I used to drink and I swear to God, this was gasoline fucking liquor, great liquor. This alcohol from the Aldi, which is like the cheapest store in Belgium.
Mm-hmm.
I used to chug this like nonstop when I was younger. And I mean, when I was younger, is about like before I got married and got my act straight.
Mm-hmm.
And I swear to God, this was gasoline. There's no... I genuinely think Jack Daniels is the same. No, list Jack Daniels.
It's not that bad.
If you want
Mother's milk.
If you want to still support this podcast, I'm not stopping you. But I'm just saying, like, I like your corn on the cob sort of whiskey.
Well, it's
they brought out of corn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yes.
I like the sweetness of that drink. Other than that, you're fucking shit. So you can... I'm sorry. That's just how I feel. I like to drink whiskey. If I want to drink cat piss, I got a cat at home. So fuck you.
Well, that's going to take some coordination, my friend.
Yeah.
But,
we can make it happen, though.
Yeah,
Next time I come over.
I guess. But you know what? There are some cocktails, if you like, that, if it calls for an ounce of bourbon and an ounce of whiskey, you can always just kind of take your fancy whiskey and your we'll call it the well whiskey, the well bourbon, the stuff that, not the expensive stuff, but it'll do in a pinch.
Yeah, exactly. But all right, so next question. What's one of your favorite songs from another artist? Like, I want to know the Derina Harvey fucking flavor. I want to know what it's like.
Right.
What gets your engine going for yourself, not from listening to yourself or whatever, like just other artists in general.
I have... I think a lot of people like a lot of different genres of music sometimes. I grew up singing country music with my family. Yeah. I love I grew up in the alternative generation. So I have a love and affinity for that style as well.
Punk rock and shit like that?
I probably listened more to the pop rock, I guess, would be like Sheryl Crow, Jewel, that kind of stuff as far as chicks were concerned. But the thing that I am very much attracted to is they're just lyrics. I know that I have different kinds of music for every mood. So it depends on what my mood is, and it affects mood. Music can help you grieve. It can help you, get called to action. There's so many things.
Exactly.
So
like I
depends.
said with my job is like when I listen to you, I get pumped and I want to do shit. Yeah.
Instead of feeling suicidal and bored as shit at work.
Instead of inhaling fucking cement until I'd fucking die, which is basically
well, you're still doing that, but you're happier about it.
Yeah, I'm happier about it.
You're less aware of it as your mind is concentrating on something else. But I think for me, if I were to tell you, are you aware of a group called the Tragically Hip?
No, not whatsoever.
Okay. The Tragically Hip to Canada is for many Canadians, even if they don't dig it, they have mad respect for the Tragically Hip. They are probably, I would call them the flagship from my heart. So there are too many to mention, but the lyrics that Gordon Downey deliver, they speak straight to my heart in every aspect. I couldn't give you one, but another, like I come from a family of songwriters, so it comes from just a love of how things come together and how naturally things come together. So I would say anything by the Tragically Hip and also anything by Ron Hines, who's from my home province of Newfoundland and Labrador, a prolific songwriter. Those. Yeah, he's the man of 1,000 songs. He's a treasure. So like the Tragically Hip, for example, they have lots of party songs. They have songs about loss. One, for example, they don't all have to do with oceanic themes or anything, but there is one called Nautical Disaster.
Okay.
If you're liking that, I would suggest to you to check out the tragically hip Nautical Disaster, and also Scared. So Scared is talking about how, well, I don't want to get into your interpretation of it, but it's, I can make you scared if you want me to, if you're prepared and you ask me to. I can make you scared. It's sort of what I do. If you're prepared, here's what I can do for you. Like, so it's this talking about lots of different things. But anyway, I'll put it out to you to check that out.
I just came a little bit, to be honest.
Oh, there's tissues on your back shelf there.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Keep your socks on. Love, it's winter. It's cold.
I never thought we would have someone that knew how to sing on this podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I think we've both tried at various points and it's been terrible.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Pushing away from the what do you like about other people? What do you like about yourself? What is the favorite song to sing? That you say, like, you know, whenever I sing this song, it's like
that I have written, you mean?
it touches near and dear to me heart.
Yes. Well, as far as songs that I've written, there's the title track to our, I'll go through just a couple. I'll touch on a couple, and then I'll try and finish off with one that probably has the biggest profound effect. There's Rove and Go is the title track to our second CD, which the last shanty is on that album.
Yeah.
But Rove and Go is a song that I wrote about a period in Newfoundland's history where resettlement was happening. And so
exactly, every time you brought up Newfoundland in this episode, I was like, I know that phrase but it's from Rove and Go. It's from that song. You sing about Newfoundland in
Newfoundland.
Newfoundland,
not Finland.
Newfoundland. You sing about you sing about Newfoundland. Yeah.
So that's a thing that was happening where in Newfoundland and Labrador, people had to leave their smaller communities to move to larger urban centers. And in a lot of cases, people took their houses with them. So I wrote this song about the process of hauling a house down through the community and floating it out onto the water. And so that got a cool reaction from folks. And I'm proud of that one. I'm proud of how it turned out. The party song Up All Night about that community celebration kind of feeling, that's a great song to sing, and see people singing along with it is amazing. And recently we just released a COVID quarantine version of an original song called Grow that has to do with personally, that's probably more of an autobiographical kind of song. Because it has to do with mental health. So for me, when I am about to just lose it, I need to go to the woods. I need to sit near a tree and calm the fuck down.
Yeah, I get that.
So that song means a lot to me. But the song "The Fallen Man's Daughter," which is a single, was a song that myself and my bass player actually started to write together.
Okay.
And he lost his uncle at sea when a fishing vessel called the Patrick and Elizabeth was lost off the coast of Newfoundland in 1994. And when we investigated that tragedy, all hands were lost. Nobody survived it. And so when we looked at the qualities that those men had, they had this fierce dedication to each other. They had a sense of duty to their families. And so when this October storm came in, they ended up having to go to work anyway, and they didn't come home. So when I look at that, my father isn't a fisherman. He's an open pit miner. So I didn't grow up on the island of Newfoundland. I grew up like 800 kilometers inland.
Yeah.
So I know about mining. I know about forestry and things like that. But
you did write a song about mining, being a miner's daughter as well.
This is the song. This is the song. And so thank you. Wow, that's
song.
awesome that you know that. And so the idea there is that my father, every time the mine would shut down, which would be every 3 or 5 years, my dad, even though he was a heavy equipment operator by trade, his job was taking care of us. So he would find other work to do. And so the through line that we created for this song was that a fisherman falls on hard times because there's something called a cod moratorium in Newfoundland, where overnight the fishing industry on the island of Newfoundland shut down.
Jesus.
1994.
And why is that?
Everything shut down. It was a time of great turmoil. And we lost our industry. So we had to become creative and find new ways to survive and to thrive. And so like my dad, this fisherman now has to find other work. Yeah. And then in the song, when the mine shuts down, he goes back to fishing. And this is how we tie in this story of the fisherman's daughter, who ends up being the fallen man's daughter.
Yeah. So there's some history for you personally in that song.
There is, and in, mostly for my bass player's family directly. But what happens when I sing this song and when we've released the song with a video and everything, we got a pretty honest, gut-wrenching reaction from people. I would be inundated with messages from people who said, this is my story. My uncle, dad, mother were lost in this fashion because of their work and because of their wanting to be the caregiver, right? Yeah. And that is the moving part for me. That seeing how so many people have this shared experience of pain and then can share that story with you. It's beautiful and it's
it is
horrifyingly
sad. And
sad.
By the way, for the people listening to this right now, just please go on Derina. I think it's DerinaHarvey.com.
Yes,
you can find the actual clip there. I think, if I'm not mistaken, if you click on video, you'll have some suggested songs, and it's like the 4th or the 5th down there, something like that. It's the 5th, The Fallen Man's Daughter. You can look at it as the video is up there, and you can check it out. You can check it out there.
Please do. And the little backstory on that is so most of that is shot. So if you want to see the scenic southern shore of Newfoundland and Labrador, there it is for you. Beautiful spot called Brickus, and there's a lot of my family in that video.
Well, the thing is, like, I genuinely love that clip because it has so much nature in it, and I'm somewhat like I'm a nature boy trapped in a city life. Is basically what I am. Like I've always said, Ireland or Scotland would be a very dangerous place for me to visit because I wouldn't want to leave ever. Like, there's alcohol and horses. What more could you fucking need? Like,
you don't really need anything else, do you?
I'd go for the nature and the horses, but I'd stay for the alcohol, which is basically 99% of all Irish people, I guess.
Whoa.
But I'm supposed to bring up fucking potatoes. Fuck you, buddy. You know what? It's just alcohol. They know it. I know it. They will all give me they'll put me in the right. I know that.
Who doesn't love? How would you like your potatoes? Vodka. That's the answer.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, so you sing a lot of sea shanties in general. Yeah. So do you know anything about the history of pirates, or is just more the aesthetic part that, like, appeals to you?
Well, sea shanties, I think, might predate pirates.
You think
So sea shanties, yeah, I think sea shanties were not for entertainment. Most songs of that era were a means of, telling a story or passing down some important information. Sea shanties were work songs. They were a way of coordinating work. So I'm going to sing a line, and then on this part, either the crew is going to join in and perform an act or reset. So, for example, hauling up an anchor by hand, or setting a mast, or some amount of hauling rigging, or pulling a net onto the boat. Anything that required coordinated exertion.
Yep.
Okay.
This is where the shanty came from.
Which is it just has me thinking, what song is there that you can masturbate to?
Oh, God.
All of them?
Yeah, all of them.
All of them. You can't.
There's so many puns on a ship, like in a sea shanty.
I see.
To Fur Elise or something, but I think that doesn't go right. Like.
Well, let's see. And it's a heave, ho, hi, hey. Coming down the plains and stealing wheat and barley and all the other grains. Yeah.
Yeah, that actually would be the song to masturbate to if you want to have a lot of fun.
Yeah,
but,
I don't know how that's going to work out, though, because most sea shanties are pretty long.
Look, I didn't know that. No. That was like a thing that...
Well, so... For any purpose, like perhaps yes, there were from they're not necessarily Irish in heritage either.
No, I know that. Right. I know that. Yeah.
So the idea
they should be, because they sound better in that language.
Yeah, I like it that way. It appeals to me. But the sea shanty versus just a song of the sea, right? Mm-hmm. So. Yeah. A song of the sea just might be something that's pretty. It has a lilt. It might be, something fun to jig to or dance to, but is not necessarily a shanty because it wouldn't have that work element to it. Yep. So, there's a bunch of them out there, and there are certain songs that you would know once this song started, get into this position to prepare for this work. Yeah. And so the aesthetic for pirates, it became, I guess, as you would tell sales of the destination, as you were leaving port, you would sing songs about the destination you were traveling to. And then when you were on the return voyage home, you would sing about going home and what was happening. And all the whole way through, if something happened with the captain and the cook and they got mad, and then you would add a verse about that to this song, about what was happening on the voyage, on the trip. So if something had happened on a pirate ship, that might be interesting. Well, there would be a song about that. And so that's how it kind of got translated. But I don't know. I wouldn't say that I know very much about pirates. I would say that I know about what the average person would know. But like, it's a romantic idea. A pirate, get to do whatever they want. Something. They got treasure. And, well, maybe they don't actually have treasure, if you know. But the idea of the freedom of not being held to some allegiance was very romantic. But at the same time, you could find yourself at the wrong end of a cutlass for saying something. So I guess there was cancel culture back then.
I guess, but like it's different. Like, you know your place, but you know your place within the freedom you have, I guess. Which is not the freedom that 99.9% of the other people were not enjoying. You were enjoying that 0.1% that other people were not. you were able to drink and fuck and snort cocaine and whatever you wanted to do, like, was fucking
sexual
fine.
preference was not a big thing. Didn't care.
Well, I guess when you're months on end on a ship with fucking other dudes that, without a woman in sight, that would be the ideal job for me, quote unquote,
Yeah.
I think we have something on the 18 plus forum on the Discord. Link in the description down below.
Dear Lord.
That might.
I don't think you're going to see that one.
It's something from last week that people have listened to and know what happened.
Yeah. I'm just going to nod and smile, boys.
Yeah, it's basically.
I would not recommend you watch that.
You would not recommend. You fucking. Asked people to do that. All right, so Alex. He asked somebody to make a picture for him, and it was him having sex with me while I was like upside down and he was shoving his dick in me.
It was my friend, he's in art school at the minute doing motion, like animation, and he was like, I need to do a project and I need to get my own customer. And I was like, okay, here, I have something for you. Just as a joke.
Talk about Flash, hey?
Yeah, and then he made it.
Yeah,
right?
as a joke.
Yeah,
quote unquote.
Yeah. Look, Andy, I'm comfortable with myself.
Art is subjective, honey. I'm not worried about it.
I'm comfortable as well, Alex. Comfortable as well.
I'm not. How about this? I'm not shy to anything. I've got a pretty open mind about that kind of stuff. As long as people are consenting adults, I don't care. But the idea though of something funny like that, if you're down with it and you're aware of it happening, then cool. It probably wouldn't be cool if somebody were to do something like that without your consent and then post it all over the place or something. That would be the part where I would have a problem with something.
Sometimes that can be cool. I mean,
whatever. Like, again,
it's whatever your kink is, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
as long as it's not hurting other people.
But you don't know, like you told us that you don't know the extreme amount of like, unproportionally knowledge about pirates and shit like that. But I was sort of curious, like, you have your own pirate ship. What would you name it?
Ooh. I would name my pirate ship Uncle Scully.
Uncle Scully.
Uncle Scully.
That's actually a nice name. Uncle Scully.
I'll tell you why. When you think skull or Scully, you think of, the makeup of today, or you think of, it makes sense. Treasure, the Jolly Roger has the popular Edward English Jolly Roger is, very prominent. But Uncle Scully, for those who would know about it, is how people from my hometown referenced the mine that our family worked in. Mm-hmm. So Cleveland Cliffs, Uncle Scully, the companies that were involved. So that's how you made your money. That's where you got your treasure. And they were digging the whole time. So it makes sense.
Yeah, well, it does.
It works on 2 levels as well. That's why it's good.
And it's scary, too, because when you hear Scully, you think skull and death and all that
Yes,
shit.
And everybody has a creepy uncle.
I wasn't going to go there, but I'm glad you did.
Sorry. Too dark, too quick.
I'm trying my best to be PC. Because...
sorry. I beat you to it. I apologize.
No. Just go ahead. Just go ahead.
Just being foolish.
Yeah.
Cool.
Alex, what would you call your ship?
Oh, God, I have no idea.
He's thinking.
I mean, I would say Bodie McBoatface, but it's already taken. So I'd call it
shipping ships.
I'd call it Elon.
Ooh.
Elon. Yeah, well,
just after Mr. Musk, get him to buy me out.
and just not sail your ship, but just hover above the ocean and fly forward.
Yeah, like rocket-propelled ship.
Oh yeah,
and tow other ships with you.
Yeah.
Pretty much. There you go.
You could be an information sharing ship.
I have no idea what I would name. It would probably be so gay that everybody would get scared of like repercussions if I got too close. Is basically what would happen.
I thought you'd call it something in Flemish that no one could pronounce.
Yeah. Probably.
I like it.
Yeah.
Just to mess with the Coast Guard. I like it.
Oh yeah, of course.
You know, it's funny because when I met Steve in college, we were best friends. We shot pool, we shot Jack Daniels, like we said, and we were just best buddies. And after during second year, all of his friends were saying, "Are you and Derina? Like, are you?" And he'd be like, "No, we're not, because she's engaged to somebody else. So no, we're just friends and all that kind of stuff." Yeah, I was.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, and then after we graduated, I went back to my hometown with my fiance, and Steve went back to Calgary with his girlfriend, and it just worked out. It just worked out that nothing against my fiance. We just weren't working out anymore.
Yeah.
Better to know that before.
But
Thank God.
honestly, I knew I loved Steve the moment I met him. And
It's solid, right?
I was on stage at a coffee house in college, and the lights are dark in the room, and the door opens, and this guy walks in with a bandana, hair down to the middle of his back, black leather jacket, big Harley boots, and he comes walking in, and I'm like, "What's that?" Ooh, right? Like, ooh,
Yep.
wow. And it turns out that at that moment I was singing a harmony line, and so he turned his head up and went, "Ah, chick playing guitar, singing too. Nice. I'm gonna have to find out more about her." And now here we are.
No,
He found out everything.
It's weird how stuff works out like that.
Well, this is the same thing that Steve, my husband, now, like, this is the same thing. When we were in college, he's like, "She's got a boyfriend. That's the line."
Yeah, that's off limits.
He didn't have a much of a line, but
Yeah.
that was the one. Yeah, he was a bit Jack the Lad, but and well, he's a handsome man who is a very caring person who listens to people. So yeah, he had a few suitors, we'll say. But I really believe that you have to kind of take some time and find out a little bit more about yourself in those times sometimes.
I
and
guess
then
so. Is he one of the guys on the picture of the website, the Derina Harvey band? Is he one of the fat guys?
Yeah, he's dad bod.
He's got a dad bod. Which one is he? On the left? Is he the second on the left?
He's the drummer.
I'm not quite sure which image you're looking at.
I'm looking at the, like, if you open the Derina Harvey band, the picture on top is what I'm looking at. You're
so is that the one where we're seated at the bar?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's Jessica Blinas, our fiddle player, and next to her is Scott Green, our guitar player.
Okay.
And then myself, like Jesus in the middle.
Oh, yeah, lovely.
And then next to me is bass player Edward Smith.
Okay.
And next to Edward is Steve Vincent, my husband and drummer.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, well, he looks like a charm. I could toss a few back together with that guy, I'm sure.
Yeah, you know what? He's and like I said, I didn't have my gray hair when I met him, and his beard was shorter and his hair was longer. And that carefree attitude. Yeah. We both were like, I don't know, 60 pounds lighter, easy. Like, so, time has made us more cuddly.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's the same for me.
It does that to all of us.
Don't even worry about it. All right. Well, let's get into the last question.
Yes.
All right. So one last question before we end the show. And I got this question from Alex. And I thought it would be very interesting to ask you, to ask somebody that actually creates and makes music. If you could change one thing about the music industry in its current state, what would that be?
Right. Well, the music industry has
I'm gonna just interject with something. Like sure. I said, I got to know you through TikTok, and I'm sorry just to throw that in there. Yeah. But like, people listen to that song and play that song for free, and so like, even me, I'm guilty of this. I then checked your YouTube account and listened to your shit for free. Like, and somewhere along the line, because you are an artist I appreciate, I feel guilty about that because like I do appreciate, but it's not just one. It's just not just me. There's like thousands of people out there using. I think that's one of the most like it's horrible. I genuinely think TikTok is a blessing, but also like if you know that you're a hype on TikTok, you had to go on TikTok to be a hype there and like publish more shit. Yeah. So people can use it and then you can live off of that and stuff like that. Maybe go live. Do you have a TikTok account?
We just started. I posted something. I posted something very recently, just starting.
Wait, hold on. I'm going to show my appreciation.
You're going to give a follow?
We just started. And I thank you very much for the like or the follow. I really do appreciate that. The music industry has been very good to me. I've poured a lot of time and energy into it, and it has repaid me tenfold. I am an independent musician who can, before COVID, who could afford a mortgage. Okay. Like so I had paid my dues in the industry to the point where I could monetize my product.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
But like you say, there's pain in every industry right now. The COVID has caused a lot of hurt, and not just in the trauma of losing loved ones and seeing that kind of devastation, but in an economic world, the people shutting down, losing their careers, losing their livelihoods. That ranks in there as well. It's a livelihood, a career has nothing on a human, a person, a loved one. Don't misunderstand me. But you're right. If I could wish for something, it would be that no person or no artist would be perhaps taken advantage of in that way. Like back in the day when you're first starting out as a musician, people are so inspired by your love of what you do that they think, oh, you love what you do so much, you can come and do it at my place for free. I'm not going to pay you, but it's such good exposure. And I'm from a cold northern Canadian community. You can die from exposure. That doesn't help anybody. And the reality of it is a lot of people are experiencing financial difficulties right now. So we have done a number of performances where I just kind of say, you know what, I have a tip jar. If you're able, cool. If you're not, fine. I'm just doing a show from my house and I would love for you to join in for some music. Whatever you can spare right now, I will appreciate. We also did a show where it was a ticketed event where we just said, pay what you can. If you can pay, we put the minimum at $1.
Lovely. Wow. That's lovely.
And the reality there is even I'll go back to the venues and booking and things like that. I will negotiate my rate depending on the circumstances. So if I'm going to a brand new community that I've never been to before, I'm willing to negotiate and make sure that, they're taking a chance on me, I'm taking a chance on them, and negotiate something that's fair.
I've always thought that buying a t-shirt, it doesn't make you a fucking millionaire, but it goes a long way to helping artists. And especially in times where they are not allowed to perform to people live. So, if you've enjoyed their TikTok sounds, if you enjoy their TikTok sounds and then found yourself researching them on YouTube, then maybe it's not a bad idea to just quickly go on that website and click that store app, click that store button and see what they have for sale. Just buy a t-shirt. It helps them. And
it really, really, really does. And I love that you're sharing that with your listeners. I couldn't agree more. There's no reason why you can't test drive out a few songs on YouTube or whatever platform that you like to listen to, and just check something out before you buy it. There's no reason why that's a problem. But Eventually,
I guess so,
if it's something that you absolutely dig and you want to throw it in a repeating playlist or something like that, then maybe
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Well, I guess that's pretty much it's what I wanted to hear for this show. And I Derina, thank you so genuinely much that you.
Well, thank you for having me. This is a lot of fun.
It's been great to have you on.
For the people listening to this, just please, like if you're a TikToker and you've enjoyed her songs and whatever, just go to their get to know them. Get to know them, see that they are people and that they just, fucking make money from this shit. So, like, support them by buying a t-shirt or a CD. I even saw that you have vinyls. I know that vinyls are pretty much in this day. So you sell vinyls as well, which I thought was pretty fucking sweet.
And if you're not sure, check them out. They're on, you can join one of the 250,000 people a month that listen on Spotify, for example.
Yeah.
Which is
exactly
insane.
Yeah, we did. We did. And that's, the other thing. I have to be very honest with you. I have always appreciated any person who would give me the opportunity to entertain them, whether I'm in front of them or whether I'm on a CD or anything like that, or on the radio where you leave that dial there when the song comes on and so turn it off. Thanks. That I feel that the wildest part about being in the performing arts is that you have this opportunity to travel, you have this opportunity to meet so many people, and we've had crazy things happen, like people change their vacation schedules in order to show up at our shows because we're going to be in this particular area. We had a fellow drive from West Virginia to North Carolina because we were going to play that evening. And I know this because he messaged us and asked, is this particular song going to be in the set list tonight? And I responded with, actually, no, it isn't. He's like, that's okay. I love all your songs. It's great. I might be a little bit late because I'm driving 7 hours to see you today. So I looked at the band, everybody in the band, and I went, put that song in the set. Put it in the set and we'll just figure it out.
Oh, that's so nice of you.
But the reality is, for me, like my parents are musicians, and my father usually finishes most of his performances with, it's been an honor and a pleasure. And so that kind of thing. And so I follow that myself. Like, it's been an honor, a privilege, and a pleasure to entertain you this evening, and I really feel that the gratefulness that I have, even if you didn't dig everything or you just liked one part, cool. Let me entertain you for 3 minutes and let me see if I can take you somewhere else.
If more politicians could be like you, Derina, I mean, God, this would be a perfect world.
Well, I don't know about that because I don't cook or clean. We'd all be very messy, but we'd have fun times and music.
We don't need you to cook and clean, baby. Like, you can just sing and be pretty.
A few more TikTok listeners, and maybe I could source that out.
Well, you scored one today. I can tell you that.
Thank you. Thank you so much, my darling. Appreciate that very much.
All right. Well, to all of the listeners, thank you so much for tuning in this week. And just thank you. Thank you to Derina Harvey, of course, for being here and, exposing our listeners to, of course, her lovely tunes. So you can find her anywhere. Just type in Derina Harvey, the Derina Harvey Band on probably any app you can find, Spotify or like YouTube.
We tried to find a way to work ourselves into every nook and cranny of the internet. I didn't know that my name was associated with porn. That's new. We didn't. That wasn't something we did.
It was just on a fling. Like, I just happy that I found
a popular
something.
Name.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, whether it's porn or music, she enjoys what she does. And you can find us on Spotify. You can find us on Discord, of course, if you want to check into the show. live while we're recording. I think we have like 25 places for people to be.
Yeah, if you got the cameras on, it's only 25.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, so you can join us by clicking the link in the description down below. And otherwise, we are in YouTube, Spotify, and all the other podcasting apps on there. Derina Harvey, thanks again for being here and being your lovely self today. It was a pleasure.
It really was.
Me.
All right. Well, on that lovely note, we'll see you on the next episode where we'll talk about pirates and all the pirate legends that are out there. Thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye.
Bye.